Hello viewers, today we would be discussing about Beowulf, an epic poetry of Anglo-Saxon period, which appeared in 8th century also. Beowulf poem has two parts. First part appears in the kingdom of Hrothgar and another part which appears in the kingdom of Geats or Geatland as well as a Gotaland, in other words we may say. One thing I would like to mention over here is that the kingdom of Hrothgar is currently known as Denmark, whereas the kingdom of Geats or Geatland or Gotaland, which has been known as Sweden as well nowadays. This historical event took place as early as in 6th century. So most of the people, most of the writers, they have their opinions about this poem, that this poem has been written by unknown or unknown Christian writer, especially the writer of Northumbria. It's a survival work of the ancestors of England, which has been preserved in the museum, especially in the National Museum of London as well. It's a heroic poem. It is the poem which has been firstly written in the story form, also in the history of English literature. Now I would like to tell you in brief manner about the first part of Beowulf. Hrothgar made mead hall in the Heorot. Mead hall we means feast hall in Heorot. Heorot is the place. It was very nearer to the king's palace also. Hall we mean feast hall. Monster Grindel, he never likes the mead hall as well as boisterously talk of the people and enjoying the feast also. So he never wanted, he never liked, he despised also such sorts of whatever we may say tasks also. Often Monster Grindel enters into the hall, in the mead hall, and he carries out the people or the inhabitants, whatever we may say, some thoughts or the barons of the king Hrothgar. So he wanted to get rid of the Monster Grindel. For that purpose he said to the king Hygelac, who was the ruler of that time, who was a king of the Geats or Geatland or Gotaland at that time. So King Hygelac, he says for aid to his prince Beowulf, a young warrior, a powerful man. His power or strength was equal to 30 people also. So Prince Beowulf, he sets a journey with his companions, 12 companions with his comrades, and he sets a voyage or a sea traveling. Beowulf and his 14 companions who were along with him, they reached in the Hrothgar, in the kingdom of Hrothgar, in the palace of Hrothgar. So he was warmly welcomed by the inhabitants of the Hrothgar also, because Beowulf and his companions, means 14 companions, they arrived and they wanted to kill the monster Grendel also. At the night, Beowulf and his friends or his companions sleep in the mead hall. At the dead of the night, monster Grendel enters into the hall and he seizes Beowulf. Beowulf boldly and confidently fights and unarmed and fights with the monster Grendel. At length, eventually Beowulf tears out the arm of monster from his shoulder also. So monster Grendel, he becomes mortally wounded and runs off to his lair also. Next night, avenging mother of Grendel, she enters into the mead hall for getting revenge of her mortally wounded son. So she carries out a man, Asher, who was supposed to be as a counselor or a thane or a baron of King Hrothgar also. So she runs out of the hall, and it was a Beowulf who boldly and confidently chases or follows the wizard or an old ugly woman. She dives into the water. Also Beowulf who dives in the water, and both they fight with each other. So at length she was about to kill the Beowulf, but it was a Beowulf who also cuts out the head of wizard also. Friends, that was the first part of Beowulf also, so it has been finished over there. The second part of Beowulf takes place in the kingdom of Geatland, modern Sweden. In this part, Beowulf becomes the king of Geatland after his uncle's death. After 50 years, the fiery dragon devastates the land of Geatland. Beowulf the king, along with his 11 companions, wrestles with the fiery dragon. Fairy dragon was about to kill the Beowulf, but it was Beowulf who finally cuts off the head of the fiery dragon with the great efforts, with the great help of his best friend Wiglaf. Even Beowulf was critically as well as mortally wounded by the fiery dragon also. Thank you very much friends. I hope you might have enjoyed my video, and please subscribe my channel and like and wait for my next video. Thank you very much.